Live?
I don't know. Are we live?
I don't know. You're telling me. You're the producer today.
Hello? Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to
I can't do
Halftime.
this by myself.
Yeah, clearly.
We learned that very quickly yesterday.
We learned very quickly yesterday. Yes, we are live right now if you haven't figured this out yet.
Well, good.
Well, hi, everybody.
There's many people who want us
How
to be
are
live
you?
right now.
Good day to you, world. Have you recovered from the madness from yesterday?
Probably not.
I haven't either.
Probably not.
For those of you that are Facebook friends with me, you saw my post. Did you see my post? You did not. No, you didn't. Don't lie to me. You give me the eyes like, I'm going to say that I did so you feel important, and then I'm going to lie to your face. And then
saw it.
And then I'm going to pull it up while we're talking.
It.
Did you?
I did. Oh, yeah.
What did it say?
Well, it was good.
What was good about it?
Oh, well, the parts where you talked about, the adjectives and the verbs.
I do like my adjectives.
I mean, the punctuation was on point.
Some days. Not all days, but some days.
Did you see what I did there?
Aha. You thought you were clever, didn't you? There we go. Minute and 5 seconds. Someone's already left the set. We are off and running. Life is good. I think that's about all we need to do today. No, I think we've got some good stuff for you folks today. We've got two good correspondents. Tanner Burke has resumed back on the set. Good to see you again, Tanner.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, good. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. What question do you have today for us?
I have a question in regards to your Facebook post.
Sure.
Where'd you get your inspiration?
My inspiration came from you, actually, Tanner.
From me?
From you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Deep.
Always.
What else is going on?
It's Thirsty Thursday, Tanner. That's what's going on. We're going to be joined by Peter Fiorentino and Christian Heimall here in just a little bit to hopefully inject a little bit of sanity into our madness.
Yes.
I'm not going to put much on it, though.
On what?
On them injecting sanity into our broadcasts. But we'll get to
do
them
they
in
know?
just a little bit. Tanner, do you want kids? Do you want babies?
Someday, just not today.
Well, I hope not.
You could change my mind, though.
Well, good. I hope so. You also like March Madness, of course, as well, too.
Yes. Yes, I do.
You're probably sitting there
do.
going, okay, we talked about babies, we talked about March Madness. Where are we going with this? Well, the reason I bring it up as part of our Thirsty Thursday segment, we always talk about some of the latest things that are making us thirsty.
Right.
Babies are thirsty for usually for milk.
Okay.
Gotta grow, gotta get big and strong.
Yeah.
March Madness fans are thirsty for the thrill of victory.
Yeah.
And the beer, of course.
Yeah.
So when you put this all together, you get this story that's out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, actually, about
Stop.
babies picking brackets.
Oh, come on.
No, I promise you.
They're probably all terrible and wrong.
No, I don't think that's how it works, honestly. All terrible and wrong? I don't think so. Basically, though, when you think about it, here's the thing. Here's the big thing. Why are you giving me the eyes? You're giving me the eyes like you don't understand what I'm trying to do right now.
I know what you're trying to do.
What am I trying to do right
I'm just
now?
trying to mess with you. Well, I can tell you
I
about
don't
to play
think,
a video.
Okay, how about we
So
play the
that's
video?
cool.
So you should go.
There's a video.
Yeah. I'm going to play the video. You should go answer the door.
Oh, there's somebody
At the door. I'm going to play the video. Check out this video here from Good Morning Maryland about this story here in Milwaukee about the baby brackets. Some cool and funny stuff here.
4:55, March Madness is in full swing, but sadly many of our brackets are busted.
I think I'm in last place for the station.
I
win.
saw that,
I'm
and I
all
had
the
to
way at the
smile a little
bottom.
bit.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, because I don't know anything about basketball, and I just guessed.
Right,
and
she's
I was doing
way ahead
pretty.
of me.
I was doing
she's
pretty
right
well.
up close to the top. But you might be surprised to know there's some babies in Wisconsin, of all places. 1-year-olds, they're doing just fine. This is some serious March Madness for you. You may be adults scratching their heads out there, going mad, filling out those brackets, but toddlers just kind of sat around, calmly making their picks.
We held up numbers like 1 versus 8.
There we go. Number 8. Good job.
And we had them go through the numbers and pick which one they wanted.
Okay, so here's the results. There's still 9 of these kids that do have a team. And look at, they're keeping track there. There's Jeffrey. They got a team in the Final Four. One bracket is perfect. Come
That
on.
baby is beating you.
Wow, by a lot. I think they all are. Well, they know more about basketball than me. I'll give them that. So they have an advantage.
Well, there you go. There you go, Tanner Burke. How do you feel about yourself now?
Good. I didn't see the video.
You didn't see the video. Why did you not see the
I
video?
was busy answering the door because people think the hours between 11 and 12 are good time to.
Do they not watch?
Drop off
Do they not
packages.
understand that we have
don't.
things to do?
We opened the door. He looked at the monitor in the back. He goes, "Brew Sports, nice." And I was like, "Yeah, get the out."
Get out. What do you got there? You got a box.
I got a box.
Did somebody send us something?
It's for Aaron, but I may
Oh.
open it. I'm gonna take a peek.
I don't think you should.
All right, fine. There was something else that came with it though.
Was there?
A beer.
Oh, the guy was like, "Hey,
Brew Sports, convenient. I have a beer for you." I was like, "Oh, all right."
that would be a delivery service that I would get behind. A beer delivering door service. Like, I could go for a bottle of Guinness right now, but I'm stuck at my lowly desk job. I'm going to call beer delivery. I don't know.
Is that what you're going to call it?
No.
Beer
It's
delivery?
a working title. It's a working title.
You know, like Harry's has the razors.
Yeah.
Like, that's
I'm going to call it
ironic.
brew.
Like,
I don't think you can
why
call
don't
it
you
brew.
get on that beer delivery?
Yeah. I'm going to launch my handy-dandy beer delivery app.
It's like
It's
like
straightforward.
starting a car company and calling it Lyft.
You never have any idea, right? Like, come up with a classier name like Uber. Like, make it foreign so people are like, ooh.
Ooh.
Who does this? Uber.
What is this?
What
guy?
is this Uber business? So
Ride
we're not going to look
service?
in the box. I think Aaron says it's lights or something.
It probably is.
We probably need more
Yeah.
lights to light our faces. Yeah, lights. And beer. What beer do you have? Tell me what you're
I don't
drinking. This is kind of like the red carpet, but for beer. Tell us what are you drinking? Tanner, what are you drinking?
Yankee Buzzard. It's an American IPA.
I hate IPA. Okay.
I gotta open it.
Good
but,
stuff.
yeah, I'm gonna wait.
No, it's fine. Totally fine. All right, people are already getting after us. So what are the bets on how soon the show goes off the rails? Patrick, I guess that's up to you. I feel like we need an official estimate to figure out it when we
need a light
When
and
we
a
go
siren.
off, like we need like a siren, like doo 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 doo. Like we need, yeah. We also don't have a theme song. We need a theme song. We played music on the morning brew this morning.
Ours can be the entire soundtrack to Top Gun.
I've never seen the movie. Never seen Top Gun. You can
Baxter's never seen Top Gun.
I've never seen
He's never
Top
seen
Gun.
Anchorman.
Well,
He's
that's
never seen
actually-
Anchorman
I have
either.
seen
Oh,
Anchorman.
right, okay.
Good God. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I have seen Top Gun with my parents back in the day. We used to watch all
Don't lie
kinds
to
of
me.
random.
Don't lie to me.
I have no idea. Jeff says define off the rails. I really have no idea. Devin says help. I'm stuck at work.
I'm stuck at work.
Sorry about that, Devin. I hope somebody saves you. I got to do this thing. You do your thing, and hopefully.
It's even worse for Devin because he's stuck at work in Boston.
Oh, Boston.
Yeah.
Talking about Tom Brady and the Patriots.
I give him 5 seconds to type the word goat.
Do it.
It's gonna happen. He probably
Do
already did.
it.
He's just waiting for his
Do
page
it.
to load.
Jeff apparently wants to know if I have to wait until. Oh, Aaron says, "Wow, this is getting personal." Jeff says, "Wait until Baxter asks if he's had a vasectomy." Have you had a vasectomy?
No.
Okay, there you go. You happy, Jeff?
Gross.
Takes a lot to phase us, I guess. Steven says, "What, Baxter?" Steve, your lights came. We had the box. Steve is watching. Show him the light box.
Steve,
We got your light, Steve.
check it out.
Lights,
What's in the
Steve.
box?
Lights. They're
Lights.
here. Come get them. You can come on. You can come walk. If you're here, just come on in.
Yeah, let's make a special guest.
I think
appearance.
Steve should make a special guest appearance to claim his box of lights.
You gotta, the rule is you have to bring Baxter a beer though.
Yeah, it has to be a cider though. None of this
Whatever.
IPA, dark
So picky.
lager
This is
crap.
why we can't have nice things because
True.
you always have to get your ciders.
Yeah. Kurt says, I love that. I love the look Tanner gives when Baxter gives answers like that. Which answer is that? When I said I've never seen Top Gun or what? I think so.
That's the look.
I guess so.
Your phone is
My
blowing
phone's
up over
blowing
here.
up. Should I answer? I don't want to answer my phone right now. That's too unprofessional.
Are there people that are watching?
No, it's my wife and my father and my soon-to-be stepmother coordinating babysitting plans.
All right.
So hopefully that works, because I'd like to go with my wife
Speaking
this
of
weekend.
babies, did you hear the news?
What's the news?
There's
pregnant?
a baby that picked the bracket and it's perfect.
Say what?
Yeah, we should talk about that today.
Let's talk about it. How perfect is your bracket? I wanted to compare my bracket to this baby's bracket. I'm in the 85th percentile.
My bracket is not perfect.
I'm ranked 2.8 million in the world.
I
I feel pretty good about
okay.
that, actually.
don't know where I'm at, but I'm gonna pull it up and find out.
Do it.
I'm in the middle of the pack though,
You're middle of the pack.
at least in my dad's tournament.
That's all that matters.
Where's my bracket?
Your
I don't
dad
know.
is actually doing
find it.
decent, I think, in this one, because he signed up.
Is Turber still at the top?
No, Turber.
He signed up.
Turber went away. Turber
Fun-
is all the way down to 14th now. Ha! Suck
Fun
it,
story.
Turber. Where
Fun-
is Turber? We have yet to see Turber. We've yet to see Adam. We have yet to see. I think that's all
Corey,
people.
I think Corey left me.
No, Corey. He did the whole hashtag Milwaukee Babies. Did you miss Corey?
Corey, you're here?
Yeah, Corey's here.
Hey!
Hey!
Oh, he is there. Okay.
Yeah.
Corey, I was worried. I haven't seen you in a couple days. I got scared.
Yeah.
I got scared.
One other thing I want
Anyways.
to talk about.
Yes.
One other thing.
What? Tell
According
me.
to Bleacher Report and many other places, actually no, according to Ian Rappaport, free agent quarterback Johnny Manziel has been keeping a low profile as he trains to make a return to the NFL. Who has he been training with, you might ask? I'm glad you asked, Tanner. He's been training with the Saints head coach Sean Payton, which is rather interesting because last time I checked, Drew Brees is not going to be able to continue to throw for 6,000 yards and 8,700 touchdowns a season and still not make the playoffs or win more than 6 games for the Saints much longer. They're going to need a replacement. Johnny Manziel, the party boy, if you can't go to the Vegas with the Raiders, he's going to go to New Orleans. That makes more sense to me. Does Johnny Manziel have a future? Does he have a career?
I don't care. Look at her.
No?
I love.
You don't think so?
Oh, my God.
If you want to know what we're laughing at, our correspondent Christian is waiting ever so slightly there, just hanging out.
Shaking his head.
He's muted, but we can look at him right now, and he's just like, no. I mean,
Given the hard approval or disapproval.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He's like our voice from beyond. I wanted to bring up Johnny Manziel's overall record.
Why?
So he played 15 total games. He went 2-6 as the starting quarterback. He's thrown 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
Okay.
Not bad. 1,600 passing yards. That
Yep.
was over 2 seasons.
Wow.
So he went 0-2.
Truly riveting stuff.
It is. I mean, is he better than Drew Brees?
Is he going to play baseball at some point in his career?
I think he was recruited. Isn't everybody that's a quarterback recruited at some point?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I'm just going to look at Drew Brees' numbers from last year. 7-9 as a starter, 5,200 yards, 37 touchdowns, 15 interceptions.
Meh.
10-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro,
Your stats are going to be bad when you
Bowl.
get rid of guys like Brandon Cooks and Jimmy Graham.
Good luck.
3 years.
That's all I got to say, honestly, is good luck. But Manziel and Mardi Gras, I feel like that's going to be a really fun pair. If they end up going with that, because the Saints need to find somebody else. They need to find someone to fill in for Drew Brees once he's done. Who's the Saints'
Why
backup
would
quarterback
anybody
right now? Does anybody know? Does
approve of
anybody
the idea
care?
of Johnny Manziel being
Manziel?
What?
Manziel, not Manziel. You said,
said
Johnny,
Manziel.
You said Manziel.
I said Manziel.
I don't think you did.
He's a Manziel in distress. That's my fantasy. That's my fantasy football name this year.
No, dibs.
Manziel in distress.
Manziel in distress.
No, why would anybody want Johnny Manziel to be?
So you did it again.
I'm gonna keep doing it. The MLS.
I was just about to say.
Why would anybody want he who shall not be named to be the second coming of Drew Brees? That doesn't make sense.
I think Johnny Manziel would be a fun. He almost would be like Broadway Joe. Like Broadway
What
Joe
is
was
wrong
like
with
partying
you?
up with the Jets in New York. You bring a partier like Johnny Football down to the big state of Louisiana. He's already from the South. He grew up in Texas. He knows the way. He's in SEC country. He's going to feel right at home.
Trevor says, fun fact, Johnny Manziel's first career touchdown was at Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo. He said he was there, not a happy memory.
I bet that was kind of a good memory.
Yeah, but
I saw that. I remember seeing the
also,
play.
Kyle Williams, 300-pound man, also sacked Johnny Manziel in the end zone for a safety, so it was great.
Were you there as well?
No.
Oh.
But I
feel
was
like you don't get out very
watching
often.
it on television.
You were watching it on television.
Yeah, it was probably my background on my computer for about a year and a half. Just Johnny Manziel getting sacked by a guy 4 times his size.
I guess so.
It was great.
Aaron says Johnny will be back. He also says, is that like a half man, half gazelle, Johnny Manziel? A man gazelle?
Half Giselle?
That would be like a third then if you're throwing Giselle in there as well, too. This isn't Stephon Gilmore's daughter's name. We don't have to get her involved as well, too. All right, let's get some sanity into this program.
Wait, real quick. What did you say? What did you say your rank was on your bracket?
Me personally?
Yeah, I am. No, not in the tournament. Overall.
Oh, overall,
Yeah.
like on ESPN.com, I am 2.8 million.
Oh,
Overall.
Oh,
What are you?
I don't want to say now.
Are you better than me?
No,
I didn't think so.
way off.
I'm in the 85th percentile. It's hard for me.
I'm in the 28th percentile.
Nearly had it.
13.5 million.
Nearly had it.
It's a lot of zeros.
It
a lot of
is.
zeros.
To put it into perspective, the Morning Brew host, Jamie Evers, is in the 99.6th percentile.
Are you serious?
She is first place overall.
I also picked a bunch of random teams. Though.
Well, that was your first move.
I had a baby choose my bracket.
You would have
His name
maybe
was
got.
Tanner Burke. Moving on.
All right, Christian Heimall. Christian.
You guys are really going to the well if you think I'm bringing sanity. But, by the way, Drew Brees, 6 foot, 209 pounds. Johnny Manziel, 6 foot, 209 pounds. They're literally trying to clone
Coincidence.
Drew Brees.
Clone Drew Brees.
So,
Coincidence.
It's so
they're
brilliant.
trying their
it's so
best.
brilliant. It just might work. It
I
just
think
might
it
work.
And Luke McCown as their backup is not terrible. I like Luke McCown as their backup quarterback, but
But he's
listen,
not Drew
man,
Brees.
he's not Drew Brees. And just a random, is Drew Brees going to be the Dan Marino of our generation? Tremendous stats.
Yep.
One championship. He's not going to be put in that echelon with Manning and Brady, but the stats are there to show that he could. I mean, I love Drew Brees.
I
absolutely
agree.
love him.
What
No,
about Phillip
so,
Rivers? Phillip Rivers is in that conversation
Phillip
as
Rivers,
well as
yeah.
the Drew.
Phillip Rivers just needs to go away. He has never done anything relevant.
He has.
Are
That's
you
not
kidding
true.
me?
That's not true. He was traded for Eli Manning.
There you go. You're welcome, Giants fans.
That's about it. That's about it.
That would have been a fun, if you could go back sort of moment.
You
and
don't like
flip-flop.
Phillip Rivers?
I think people give him more credit than what he's actually done. Sure, he's made the Chargers relevant, but
I don't
that's
care.
it.
I don't care.
You never care.
Listen, remember,
Anytime
there
I
is no
disagree
Phillip
with you.
Rivers without Drew Brees getting hurt.
Also
So,
true.
This is true.
You know, I mean, listen, they could have done so much more with LaDainian Tomlinson. What they had, I'm amazed that the Chargers didn't do more. But
I agree. No, I agree. Well, there was a couple of times, too. They made it to the AFC Championship game. They made it a couple
Yeah.
times, didn't they? And then I think other teams that are actually good and have, a full fluid team actually beat them, like the Patriots. Oh, good stuff, good stuff. Well, I mean, I could talk football all day, but I know that's not why we have you here, Christian.
that is not.
Maybe another time, another place we can talk more football.
There's much more relevant things going on.
You want to ask the first
Yes.
question?
Do I want to ask the first question? All right, Christian, who are you watching today? I guess moving forward through into the weekend for the Sweet 16, you got a team that you think's gonna wow some people?
the team that still is the most interesting one for me to watch is playing. I think it's tomorrow, South Carolina when they're playing, and they've got Baylor. It's going to be interesting to watch. I'm really excited to watch the Madison Square Garden Regional because for the fans in New York and for the media, this is not the four they wanted at Madison Square
No,
Garden.
it is not.
They're like,
It's-
why?
I am loving this. I really do, because this is what March Madness is all about. Everything you didn't expect to happen happening. No Villanova, no Duke, but you've got two schools that, living in New York, Wisconsin and Florida, have a tremendous fan base in New York. So that game is going to be packed. It is going to be rowdy. There are some great Big Ten and SEC bars in Midtown that are going to be making a lot of money tonight and tomorrow when you're watching these games. But I'm really interested to see how South Carolina handles the pressure. It's the furthest they've ever been. They've never been to the Sweet 16. It's a team that just 4 years ago, when Sindarius Thornwell was a freshman, they finished second to last in the SEC, and now they've completely turned it around, changed the culture. Really excited to see them against Baylor. I'm also intrigued to see how John Beilein continues this Michigan run, and if he's able to keep doing it. I've been very impressed with how mentally tough they have been over the last couple of games. And then the biggest one, that's really exciting is how is the West going to figure out? I think it's wide open for Arizona. I'm still not, as much as they are so talented, I'm not sold on Gonzaga. I'm really not. And to watch them, that being said, I think they beat West Virginia. I haven't been impressed at all with the Mountaineers here in this tournament. But that Arizona-Xavier game is going to be a lot of fun. And how that West shakes out, if Gonzaga can actually do it, or if Arizona just kind of moseys on into the Final Four, will be interesting to see how that all works.
Looking at South Carolina, I mean, they took off my Marquette Golden Eagles, and seeing them go this far is probably a little bit of a relief for me, because it makes me feel like I didn't necessarily lose to a subpar team. But first off, I just have to say, Sindarius Thornwell. That is the most East First West Bowl name from Key and Peele I've ever heard. Sindarius Thornwell. But no, in all seriousness, though, is South Carolina the Davidson of this Sweet 16?
Only in the sense that they're not a program you're used to hearing about. Dave, I mean, when you talk about these Cinderellas, you're talking mid-majors. You're talking schools you've never heard of. But we know what South Carolina is. We know from a football standpoint. For those who really follow college baseball religiously, you know how good South Carolina has been over the last decade. But from a basketball standpoint, you don't think of South Carolina because they haven't won an NCAA tournament game in 4 decades. So I would consider them the Davidson because they're probably not the blue blood, so to speak, that's there. But guys like Thornwell, PJ Dozier, what Frank Martin has done. I was very skeptical when Coach Martin took the job just because I thought he had a great system going at K-State. And I thought he could have really continued to turn them into a very talented school. I mean, remember, this is the guy who had Michael Beasley a few years ago there at Kansas State. But I love what they've done. And from that standpoint, just because you don't know them as a program, yes, I would consider them probably the Cinderella just because they're not one of those schools you think about being there late in the season in March Madness. You think about, especially from the SEC, you think Kentucky, maybe LSU every once in a while, but they haven't been relevant since Glenn Davis. So, they're definitely that Cinderella team if you're really trying to look for one right now.
I don't think aside from South Carolina, I'm stealing your questions.
I keep like getting ready to speak, and then I
them?
keep trying to like speak, and then you're just like,
No, I'm just saying.
it's fine. Say what you got to do.
I don't have a question. I'm just making a statement.
That's fine. Say what you need to say.
No, it's done. It's over.
No.
No.
What were you going to say?
I don't care.
You're wasting Christian's time now.
I think Christian looks like he just wants to hang out with us all day.
He can hang out.
I do. Listen, I'll be here as long as you guys want to. I don't care. I like talking sports. Listen, we've got a while till the game starts. So,
That's
what,
true.
6 o'clock? We
Yeah,
got some
Christian's
time,
like,
so.
we can go for like 8 hours, guys.
All right, Baxter, go ahead.
I was just going to ask the question. I was just going to say, are you disappointed by any of the matchups that we have going into the Sweet 16? If you could replace a team that is there right now, is there any specific one that you would try to do?
As a Louisville fan, I'd like to see them still around, but
there it is.
I can't really be upset with any of these matchups just because this is how the tournament plays out, and that's what's kind of fun about it. I'm really, really pumped for the only one I guess I wish UCLA and Kentucky weren't playing in the Sweet 16. I just wish that this could be an Elite Eight or a Final Four game because these are two of the better teams left in the tournament. And if the seeding would have been appropriate, I thought this would have been a Final Four game, truthfully. I would have loved to have seen Kentucky as the number one seed in that league, in that region, and see what happens a little bit later. It's probably the only one I'm disappointed is because we're going to get such a great game, at this juncture in the tournament. But other than that, you look at them and it's just fun to watch contrasting styles. I mean, the one that really kind of intrigues me is Purdue against Kansas.
Yes.
I mean, Caleb Swanigan, who may be the most underrated player right now. Nobody's talking about Purdue or Xavier for that matter. But when you talk about Purdue, you talk about Caleb Swanigan, and him going up against Josh Jackson is going to be a lot of fun because my personal opinion, Josh Jackson is the number one overall pick, but that's just because I think if the Celtics end up with the number one pick, that's who they need more than a Markelle Fultz or Alonzo Ball. They need Josh Jackson. But having Kansas play Purdue and that matchup is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Xavier and what Chris Mack has done is a lot of fun, but there's not really a matchup that I'm upset about because these are all really fun, interesting ways to look at it. I mean, trying to see if South Carolina can match up with Justin Motley of Baylor, trying to see if Tyler Dorsey can continue his unbelievable play for Oregon is going to be interesting to watch. And then, of course, it's can that number one seed UNC, can they hold on? Can they still keep doing this and keep advancing? So I'm not disappointed at all with any of these matchups.
Real quick on Facebook, Corey says, Christian, are you experiencing an earthquake?
No, not that I'm aware of. I guess I'm just excited. I'm kind of bouncing around.
I was going to say, yeah, you keep rattling up and down. People are like, what is going on with Christian?
That's right.
Patrick says, East and South are the toughest regions in the tourney. I would probably agree with that. Tom, or do you not agree with that?
I thought the Midwest was the toughest at the start. It has turned out that the South is probably the most you can say the East just because of the upsets and because the defending champ was the first one to go down, but from looking at it on paper, I thought the South coming in was the toughest. I think, the Midwest. I think now the South has definitely proven to be, just because you've got so many close games and you've got so many intriguing contests. You had that 12-5 with Middle Tennessee, and it'll be. But listen, there's no wrong region to be in unless you're Villanova, but that's a different story.
You're right. Staying in that same region as well, too. I'm a little torn for tonight's Badgers-Florida game. I grew up in Florida for 8 years, obviously here in Wisconsin as well, too, for a vast majority of my life. For those that actually are more honed in for one side or the other, is there a realistic champion in this game this evening? Is it the Gators, even though because they're lower seeded, or is it because the Badgers have been so hot recently that they could pull the upset again?
I think like a lot of people thought, I thought Wisconsin was underseeded. But I thought now that we're seeing it, it's easy to go back and look and say the entire Big Ten was underseeded, or at least misseeded, with Minnesota being a 5 and your tournament champion being a 7. But what Wisconsin has done and what they have, their core, is impressive. Koenig, Hayes, Happ, they're tremendous. They're a great team. And a lot of fun to watch. And if Nigel is able to keep doing what he's doing, you've got Bronson able to help out. And then Happ, who, again, is one of those guys we don't talk about on the Wisconsin team, but he may be one of their better players. And then you look at Florida, who has kind of gone under the radar in this tournament, despite being a 4 seed. They have the matchup that can beat Wisconsin. I do like the momentum the Badgers have. And when you get to this point in the tournament, it really is all about your experience and what have you been there before? Have you done this before? And the guys at Wisconsin have. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Wisconsin tonight in this game. Just because they've got that experience. They've got guys who have played in Final Fours, guys who have played in national championship games. And that's the kind of thing that really – listen, this is what Nigel Hayes came back. This is why he's been here for 4 years, is to continue this and to win a national championship. He could have gone into the draft last year. He could have gone into the draft after the national championship loss that they had. But you look at what they've done and what they're able to do and the experience they've had. I give them just a slight edge, although that game is definitely going to be fun to watch because Florida's a great matchup for them, and it will be one of those really tough contests. I think this might be, other than UCLA, Kentucky, this might be the closest game, the one that may require a buzzer beater to win.
I could easily see that happening. I look at Wisconsin as almost a sibling rivalry for me because I root for them to do well, but never better than my own team. So
now you have to root for them. Now you have to root for your sibling because your own team was terrible this year.
I know, but it's almost like sacrilegious for me. But real quick, is your champion still alive, Christian?
Yes, Kansas is still there.
Right.
I picked Kansas at the start. Frank Mason, Josh Jackson. I think they've got what it takes to get through. My biggest question is Purdue today. In that game, Purdue scares me because of Caleb Swanigan. So if they're able to get past Purdue, I think Oregon and Michigan beat each other up a little bit. And then I think Kansas is able to get through that into the Final Four.
Okay, well, I'll be watching that for sure tonight.
Absolutely. I asked this question this morning as well, too, to one of our basketball correspondents. Xavier, Arizona. No one's talking a lot about Arizona. Xavier potentially trying to be the name of the Cinderella team as well because they're the 11th seed. So everybody always assumes that the lowest rated seed is clearly the Cinderella team. Your thoughts, Christian, about both of those clubs and who ultimately will emerge as the victor in this one?
Listen, this is a great coaching matchup. Coach Miller, Coach Mack, they are two very talented guys who have done a lot of things in their program. Xavier, maybe, at least from what we're used to seeing, a little bit down, but I still like what Arizona does. I still think Arizona moves on. And listen, you got a chance. We talk about it every year in the NFL. Is there going to be a team that actually plays in their home stadium for the Super Bowl? Right. It may not be their home court for Arizona, but I think now with – again, I was wrong on this one. I thought Florida State was going to win this region. I loved what they had, but I think Arizona's got what it takes to move on and play in their home state in the Final Four.
And you look at that. What are you doing?
Nothing.
You spilling beer? You're doing. Golly.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Sit down.
In case you can't tell, I'm tearing down the set back here.
He is dismantling us crate by crate.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why they have me here.
It's been a fun ride then, guys.
Yeah,
I know.
Appreciate it.
I do have looking at, I know we're talking about Arizona. They are probably one of the most confusing and underwhelming teams altogether in the tournament this year, especially being a 2 seed. Putting up triple digits against North Dakota, okay, and then falling at winning at 69. I feel like I should put like a Rob Gronkowski reference in here, but yes, beating St. Mary's 69-60, which isn't that outstanding of a win either. So, what are we looking at here in an Arizona team? I mean, I have them going into my Final Four, but is this a team that is just kind of lollygagging in their way into through the tournament, or should we expect something from them?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, again, the NCAA tournament is all about matchups, and teams like St. Mary's and like Gonzaga, which are big physical teams that can also step outside and shoot, they present matchup problems for almost anybody. And I think that's why you saw such a low-scoring affair with Arizona and the Gales. That being said, I don't see Xavier having the same potential matchup with them. I do think Arizona can get by here and maybe not do it easily, but I wouldn't expect such a close contest. This might be one where free throws down the stretch make it a little bit closer than you're expecting. Their matchup with Gonzaga, if it gets to that point in the Elite Eight, is going to be the toughest one for them in this region, obviously, with a regional championship on the line. Like I said, I'm not either one, Gonzaga or West Virginia. They're very similar in the fact that they have bigs who can step outside and shoot. West Virginia's press defense is unbelievable, very, very annoying for any team to go against. But I think Arizona's got the mark, and this is the issue with the Pac-12. It's why nobody really talks about it.
That's true.
Is that you're looking at 3 teams in the Pac-12 in UCLA, Oregon, and Arizona, and all 3 of those teams are different. It's not like the ACC where it's tremendous guards or tremendous talent in general. It's not like the Big Ten where it's physical inside presence from everybody on the court. There's different styles in the Pac-12. And the way that Arizona moves on is by having to having the mental fortitude to get past them. And this is why the NCAA tournament and why college basketball is built on its coaches. And that's why I think Coach Miller is able to get past and able to do things, because he's done this before. He's gotten teams deep into the tournament. I think they get past Xavier. And then whoever they face, whether it be Gonzaga or whether it be West Virginia, is going to be interesting to see that matchup, just because those are 2 teams that are similar to St. Mary's and can present very big problems for them.
You got something to say?
I do have something to say.
Right, go ahead.
Christian, you said you're in Davenport. Is that Davenport, New York?
No, Iowa.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like really,
right,
really
okay,
far.
Okay, I had to ask.
No.
Davenport, New York is close enough to Buffalo where it would be
Stop.
a relevant joke.
Stop.
But I got nothing. So you're closer to us here than you would be to Buffalo. So okay, well, yeah. So
Good.
I just, it was just my question.
No, I'm glad you asked. All right, Christian, we got to let you run. We got to get to our next guest and keep this train. At
Please
least
come on
barely.
again. This was.
Let's do it
this
again
was
soon.
great.
Now, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We appreciate your time today, sir.
My pleasure, guys. Enjoy it.
Will do. We'll talk to you
thank you.
soon. All right, there goes Christian Heimall, one of our college basketball insiders,
He's
gurus.
Great. He's great.
He's good. He's fantastic.
He's the best.
He's the best
All of our
basketball correspondent we
are the
have.
best. But he's by far the best correspondent that was just on our show.
Just on our show. They love us over there.
They love us over here at Brute Sports.
They love us in Iowa.
In Iowa, they're all about
I
us.
love the Iowa.
I love Iowa. Corn, it's great.
Ionians.
Corn, yes.
Corn, yes. Everybody loves corn.
I
Do
love
you love
Iowa.
corn?
I do.
I enjoy corn.
You know, people don't believe me, but in Iowa, you know what they call corn?
What do they call corn?
It's
in
not
Iowa?
just sweet corn, and they call it candy corn.
Why?
Because
I hate candy corn.
Yeah, I hate candy corn too.
It's literally the worst thing
But this
ever
is
invented.
like actual corn, but it's so sweet, and the corn is like pops in your mouth. It's candy corn.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fresh
You know who
pick
else
that
is
day.
sweet?
Who?
Peter Fiorentino.
Peter Fiorentino
Peter
is sweet.
Fiorentino is a sweet, wonderful, amazing feller.
He is.
That you and I are pleased to call our friend, colleague, comrade, brother in arms.
Yes.
Many a thing. There's many a word for Peter Fiorentino. He joins us now here on Halftime. How are you, Peter?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing
Good.
well.
I can't tell if you're in the middle of a mall cafeteria or in the middle of your press box.
I'm actually in our conference room here at the office.
Oh,
There
okay.
you
It's
go.
a nice little.
It is.
I like the background.
It's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, you in the background. Yeah.
No, it's pretty sweet. I think I see you in the crowd back there somewhere. It's like, oh, there's Peter or something. I love the shots where it's like, here's the shot down from the press box,
Yes.
like kind of a thing. I'm all
Yes.
about
Right.
that. And you get the broadcaster like still in the picture, but it's like over his shoulder.
Well, this is great too because we get the broadcaster in the picture and it's still over his shoulder.
I feel like we're at the game.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the picture,
I
it's
mean-
like there's Peter and
Yeah,
there's the
this
game.
beautiful man of a correspondent. You know,
You guys are too much. You guys are too much.
Oh my goodness. Well, Peter, we're excited to have you here, especially off the back of a very big victory for the United States, winning
Yes.
8-0 in the World Baseball
I
Classic.
saw that. I can imagine you understand my opinions on this whole game as a whole already. So I'll let you start the conversation here, and we'll move into my Debbie Downer question.
No,
later.
I was just basically going to say, I mean, I went on the record yesterday to say that I thought the U.S. is actually going to lose this game because baseball is losing its foothold here in the United States. And, countries like Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic live and breathe basically two things, baseball and soccer. And I thought this is going to be a game that Puerto Ricans were going to run away with, and the United States had other plans. What were your initial thoughts when you saw that final out go and the United States storm the field in celebration, holding a bald eagle trophy, which was a little strange, personally?
My initial thought was, wow, it's finally time for bed. It was kind of late here on the East Coast.
So didn't it finish at like 1 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah, it was late for sure, but that's what you get when you start games on the West Coast. No, I was thrilled. I mean, I'm pretty sure I differ from Tanner in that I love the World Baseball Classic. I think it's an awesome way for athletes to show pride for their country and to play with guys they don't normally get to play with and against. So my initial thoughts were I was elated. I was.
Okay, so I get it. I understand the World Baseball Classic. It's good to have another international tournament, but are these players really putting themselves all out on the table for this tournament? I mean, they're about to start a long, grueling season, over 150 games.
It's true.
I mean, and who really cares about the World Baseball Classic, and is it just a glorified spring training tournament?
The players care, Tanner, and I'll tell you why. I mean, when you say, are they really giving 100%? They are. I don't know if you saw, I referenced it in the show the other day when Javi Baez went for a slide at third base and did a swim move around the third baseman. They're really trying in this competition. And what I was also kind of relating a couple days ago was it adds an element of competition to hit the ground running before the season, before they actually get to play real games. I mean, during spring training, there's no competition at all. It's all about getting guys in, get one inning, a couple innings here and there. In the World Baseball Classic, I mean, you're playing for pride of country. And when you say something like just another international tournament, this is baseball's only international tournament.
It's true.
Baseball is going back into the Olympics in 2020 after a couple of years off, and this is the only international tournament for baseball players. So I think it's a really cool opportunity for guys to how do I put it? Relate with their country. Guys who are from the Netherlands, who play for the Netherlands, they don't usually get a chance to rep their country to show that pride, and so they get a chance to in the World Baseball Classic.
I do agree with that point. I will say I like the idea that it gives smaller countries a chance to display their best baseball athletes.
Right.
To some of the worldwide scouts.
Aaron on Facebook makes a good point, too. He's like, it was basically the United States versus the United States territory. So he's like, it didn't feel too different.
That is a good point.
I mean, it is, but it's
point.
a different country. It wasn't the United States versus the United States B. It was totally two separate entities. I understand they're under the same umbrella, but the United States and Canada share the same continent, but we're not going after, it wasn't North America 1 versus North America 2. I don't know. I guess I don't understand that. But do you agree with the comment that I made earlier, the fact that baseball almost seems to be dying more among Americans and it's much more popular now with the Hispanic countries?
I don't. I just think that certain aspects of it are dying, especially on the youth side of things. You're seeing a lot more kids join travel teams and join these special all-star teams. The whole Little League model is diminishing because kids are trying to be more competitive. They all have all these kids on travel teams and club teams all have their private swing coaches and private pitching coaches, and they finally come together for one game a week. What I really liked about the World Baseball Classic was it had a very Miracle on Ice feel. It was a bunch of players who have not played together coming together and forming a team in 3 weeks. That had the chance to do that. So maybe the youth game is diminishing a little bit in the traditional sense, but I think that in the long run, it's good for baseball to have big tournaments like this, because it puts baseball at a center stage and really shows the marketability of the sport, which Major League Baseball struggles with.
I just out of general curiosity, do you feel like the tournament would have been more successful from a ratings perspective had it been on an ESPN or an ABC or a network that people didn't have to pay a ton of money for, like being on the MLB network?
Maybe, but I also think, when you're starting off a tournament like this, you can't just jump into the major networks. They have to see some kind of profit with it right away. And the fact that this World Baseball Classic tournament set a attendance record in the second round probably was a big red flag to networks like ESPN and Fox. Maybe we should carry this back in 2021 when it happens again. So I think it just depends on what those networks see as a marketable sense. Can we sell advertisements? Can we sell corporate sponsorships and commercials for this many games? And I think they saw they can after this tournament.
This being the first win for the United States in any World Baseball Classic, what does the win mean for the team from a player's perspective, and how will this help them moving forward into the actual regular season?
Well, I think on an individual basis, I think it like I mentioned earlier, the competition is fantastic. I mean, to have a guy like Marcus Stroman go out there and throw 6 no-hit innings to go into the regular season like that, I mean, that's like almost mid-season form if you're throwing that well. So I think that gives the Blue Jays kind of a glimpse of hope into their starting pitcher. Same with a couple of different of the individual players. It just gives them a sense of competition going into the season as opposed to just kind of the laid-back spring training feel. And then as far as the team goes, they don't get a chance to play with each other for another 4 years. So it's a chance for camaraderie, and maybe you see a couple more handshakes before the games when two teams in Major League Baseball play each other. But more than that, it's a sense of bragging rights for the United States for the win.
One other question I had for you that has nothing to do with baseball. We were talking earlier in the show about Johnny Manziel coming back to the NFL, potentially signing with the New Orleans Saints. I don't know how well you know about Johnny football in terms of what he's been doing with his life recently, but do you feel like a move like that would be a potential replacement for a guy like Drew Brees?
I'm sorry, man. Your audio cut out there. Can you repeat that?
I was just saying, do you feel the fact that Johnny Manziel is potentially signing with the New Orleans Saints, as a possible backup for Drew Brees going forward, do you think that's a realistic option for the team?
Yeah, I mean, why not? The thing is, Johnny Manziel has a lot of off the field attitude problems, and obviously he's been in the media. But I think the media has created a lot of that. I mean, I don't think it's so much as he's not a bad guy per se. He does some stupid things, but you got to remember at one point he was a tremendous athlete. So if he can return to form, I don't see why not.
A couple of questions actually on Facebook specifically for you, Peter. David wants to know quickly. He said, how excited is Peter about the future of the U.S. team, considering they didn't have some of the big MLB stars like Mike Trout on this year's team?
Oh, my gosh. I'm pumped for 2021 because you saw guys like Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, Chris Sale, Max Scherzer, all these players, Bryce Harper, who didn't play for Team USA. And part of that could be because their Major League Baseball team restricts them from playing in outside tournaments, which is totally fine. But you got to wonder if for future contracts that these major leaguers sign, is one of the staples in the contract going to be, I have to play the World Baseball Classic, or I want to be able to make that choice. Because once we see those guys hop in, it's going to be an incredible team for Team USA.
Do you feel that there's any massive changes that need to come for the World Baseball Classic? Whether it's allowing teams, like you said, to release the players to be able to go and do something like this, or is it getting younger? Is it certain countries that weren't allowed to be there, or are we overall satisfied with what the team and not only the team, but overall satisfied with what the competition as a whole has been doing so far?
I'm pretty happy with how the tournament ran this year. If I were to change a couple things, I guess I would want some more clarity, especially with the Olympics adding baseball back as a sport. I'd want to kind of know, is the Olympics aspect going to be strictly just amateurs and not professional baseball players? Is the World Baseball Classic reserved for Major League Baseball? Can they play in both? So I'd be kind of curious to see what they do with that. Other than that, though, I was pretty pleased with how the tournament ran. I know one of the biggest complaints on social media was on the East Coast that the game starting so late, but the game was played in Los Angeles, and you can't start a game in Los Angeles at 4 o'clock when everyone's at work. So it's a toss-up, maybe playing, kind of switching locations a few times, and who knows? We might see the World Baseball Classic final played, in Japan or the Dominican or maybe even Puerto Rico.
Anything else from you, Tanner?
I would like to see. I don't know. I mean, I didn't find anything to be very exciting about the tournament. The most exciting thing that I saw was the fact that the United States were in the finals, and I literally.
Did you feel a sense of American pride when they won?
I did, but I didn't care.
Tanner, did you watch any of the games?
I did, but I found myself. I mean, honestly, I found myself not having any general interest, and this makes me sound like a terrible person because I do love baseball. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more concerned about the season coming up. Like, I literally could care less. I mean, I love the United States. I love the United States. It's my favorite country. It's my favorite country. It's the best country. But I literally am only concerned about my team going forward into the actual major league season.
Who's your team?
The Brewers.
Oh Lord. Okay.
And that's fair. I don't think anyone's trying to say, if you don't watch the World Baseball Classic, you're not a baseball fan. I gotta say, I watched 4 of the games, and I thought all of them were extremely exciting. Watching Adam Jones rob a home run last night, watching Ian Kinsler hit a home run to lead out to kick off the scoring for the game. I just thought it was really cool to see players I typically despise on other teams come together in a 3-week period and win a championship for the United States. So I don't think it makes you a bad person or a bad baseball fan at all. I just think that there is some marketability to it and there is some excitement to it.
All right.
Fair enough. All right, Peter, good stuff from you, sir. Where can people find you on social media to keep up to date with what you got going on?
You can follow me on Twitter at the Fiorentino. Other than that, I'll be here on Bruce Sports once in a while.
Phenomenal.
Sounds good to me.
Looking forward to it, Peter. We'll do this again soon, sir. Thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Have you
All right,
too.
you
All
too.
right. We'll talk to Peter again hopefully soon. Always a fun time. A little
It
bit
is.
of craziness there. Tanner, we're at a bit of a problem right now. We're only at 51 comments.
Here, wait. I need to go back to a comment from a while back.
We've gotten some great
Real
comments
quick.
today. I think we need to hit on some of those for
because
sure.
Eric brought this up a while ago when we were talking about Phillip Rivers possibly being today's version of Dan Marino.
Yeah.
But he makes a good point. Phillip Rivers is more like Jim Kelly, no Super Bowl.
Yeah, but Jim Kelly has actually been to Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers hasn't.
Phillip Rivers has been on. See, I don't know what your shtick is with Phillip Rivers.
I think he's overrated.
He is not the reason why. He's on par with Drew Brees. He
No.
absolutely is.
Drew Brees has won a Super Bowl. Drew Brees is a 10-time Pro Bowler. He is at least been voted All-Pro at least once. I'm going to pull up the two stats, and I'm going to look at them side by side. But I'm pretty positive you are just
unbelievable.
Dumb. Pretty sure. Aaron also believes that you saying you love baseball is a lie.
I most certainly love baseball.
Just about as much as I love baseball.
I have a ring to prove it.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Anybody can pay somebody to stand up in a booth and talk.
Excuse me?
What?
I don't know if
look at us.
I don't know if they really paid me to do that, but
well, that's between you and your agent.
Robert says, "You guys are awesome." #5 comments.
We're up to 57. Keep it going. Who am I looking for? Phillip Rivers.
And Tanner's heel turn begins. #WWE. Thank you, David. All right. Well, let's see. There's a couple of good comments in here. Let's see.
Phillip Rivers apparently doesn't exist.
Phillip Rivers does exist.
I got to spell it with one L. Come on, Phil.
Okay.
All right. Well, you want to know the difference? Just quick little bang on paper.
All right. Go ahead.
All right. Phillip Rivers has only been the only accolades aside from being a great quarterback in your opinion. Only a 6-time Pro Bowler. You flip over to Drew Brees. Super Bowl champion, 10-time Pro Bowler, and
the Pro Bowl literally means nothing.
But it still is the fact
Tyrod Taylor was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, because 20 people fell out. That's why.
That's my point exactly.
Here's their career stats.
Okay.
66,000 passing yards for Drew Brees, 465 touchdowns. Okay. Flip it over to Philly. 45,000 passing yards, 314.
Okay.
Clearly the better quarterback. Phillip Rivers, 97.
What has Drew Brees since they got rid of Jimmy Graham though? What has he done since they got rid of Jimmy Graham?
He had a better record last season than the Chargers did.
Right.
Drew Brees, 131 and 101 overall. Phillip Rivers, 97 and 79.
I'm not saying Phillip Rivers is better than Drew Brees.
You're trying to make the argument that he's on par, which he's not. He doesn't belong in the same category.
Okay.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Not a chance.
All right.
Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers all can be thrown into that elite category. So Ben Roethlisberger can maybe get invited to the party, but I don't know if he's big enough to get in through the door.
I can't hate you for more than one reason on a show.
You can hate me for as many reasons as you want.
Don't tell me Ben Roethlisberger's hanging out with them too. No.
Yeah. Apparently, David says, fun fact, he was picked to be to the Pro Bowl this year. Congratulations, David. Very happy for you. You work hard. You deserve that opportunity.
Jeez.
Drew Brees is clearly the better quarterback.
I know. I'm not
You're trying
denying
to
that.
compare these two guys, though. They're nowhere near the same level.
All right.
Nowhere near.
All right.
Where's Joe Flacco in this conversation? I don't see you referencing Big Joey Flocks.
No.
What about Eli? Is Eli in this conversation? Are you trying to put Drew, Phillip, and Eli all on the same level?
No.
Where would you put Eli Manning? Is he better than Drew Brees?
How did the hipster burn his mouth?
How?
He ate the pizza before it was cool.
You're stupid. Oh, my gosh. Save me. Absolutely just save me.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Eli Manning's a better quarterback than Phillip Rivers as well.
I couldn't figure out why the baseball kept getting larger. Then it hit me.
You're deflecting, by the way. You just don't want to face up to the fact that I'm right about something.
Two men meet on opposite sides of a river. One shouts to the other, "I need you to help me get to the other side." And the other guy replies, "You are on the other side."
I got all the jokes. I know all the jokes. I'm a funny guy. I would know.
Sure. We're only at 59 comments, by the way, people. Let's pick it up if we want to get to 100, folks. We've been hitting a hot streak here the last couple of days. You want to talk about sports and families or families and sports? We still have to figure out what the heck's for lunch as well. So the floor has to basically be yours now for the next 10 minutes. So have at it.
Mine?
Well, basically, you came up with the idea. You're like, let's talk about family and sports. Well, what do you want to talk about? LeBron James, LeVar Ball?
Why aren't koalas actual bears?
Why?
Because they don't meet the qualifications. I got jokes.
You don't. You just sound like a father.
I got jokes.
You sure
You
you're
sound like a father?
You sure you're not like, a dad? Do you know? Do you have any illicit Burks running around somewhere?
Some people think it's romantic to carve their names on trees in the park while on a date. I'm more concerned about why they're bringing a knife on their date.
Also true. A little strange.
You want to hear my beard? This is what my beard sounds like.
How's that beard, Tanner? It looks like it's pretty warm.
It's pretty warm. It's cool.
Yeah. David says he's going to get back to work on that halftime bingo game. I think you
Yes.
should. I want to play halftime bingo.
What else? I'm out of good jokes.
Yeah, talk about sports. Good God.
All right, families and sports. I want to talk about it.
Do you actually, though? Because,
I
you don't have to.
No, I do. I love the concept because, the reason I'm bringing up families and sports is because the whole LeVar Ball thing.
Of course.
And how all the brothers, all the siblings are now going to be going to UCLA, whatever. It almost gives, if somebody succeeds, it almost gives everybody else an easier road to success.
Does it?
So, Archie Manning.
I was just about to say the Manning family.
The Manning family is probably the most notable. Archie Manning was successful.
Right.
Aside from the fact of having all of the connections for trainers and programs and stuff like that, that makes it easier in and of itself. But Peyton Manning comes in, and he's very good.
Yes.
Eli Manning comes out, and he's not so good.
He's decent.
He's okay.
Two-time Super
He's
Bowl
in the
winner.
Joe Flacco category.
He's better than
Are you
Joe
serious?
Flacco. Yes. Oh my God. Eli's better than Joe Flacco any day.
This is unbelievable. Do you know anything about football?
I do.
Okay.
I know a lot about
This
football.
is why you'll never be on the Pick Six with me. Anyways, so the Mannings,
we saw how
Eli comes out. My
we
point
saw
being,
how you show hosting went yesterday anyway, so that's probably why.
My point being, Eli had an easier road because of his brother. But I love the idea of brothers playing against each other.
Okay.
Now, Peyton definitely has the upper hand when it comes to the record against his brother.
Okay.
But I want to know what that's like. Let me just go over some names. The Harbaughs, John and Jim played each other in a Super Bowl.
Well,
they didn't play. They were coaching.
I was going to say.
Wasn't that the Super Bowl where the lights went out?
Yeah.
Weird.
Mysteriously.
Weird. There was a Super Bowl on the line. Do they meet up for Thanksgiving dinner with their family? And
100%.
Was it John? Where's the ring?
Yeah, John won. I would wear my ring. Be like, how's everybody doing?
Tapping it on his drink.
Yeah.
Jim, how's it going over there? How's Michigan? Good? Have you won a championship yet? No? Okay. Can you pass the potatoes? Don't overthrow it.
Oh. Or shut the lights off on me.
Yes. Another
Cheeky.
notable matchup would be the Williams sisters.
Serena and Venus.
Serena and Venus, they've played each other like a billion times.
And Serena's clearly the better athlete.
Serena is clearly, but Venus is also one of the best in the world.
It's true, but she's not the best.
But she's not better than her sister.
True.
For the hockey fans out there, the Hull brothers, the Hulls.
The who?
Bobby and Dennis were brothers, and they played in the NHL for years.
Okay.
And Brett is Bobby's son, and Brett Hull scored the debatable goal in 1998, 1999 when the Sabres played the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 6, foot in the crease.
That's
Never mind.
true. Yeah. Trevor also says, "There's Trevor. Took him freaking long enough."
It's considered the Stanley Cup that was never won.
It's true.
98-99. Okay.
That's true. People are saying the Gronkowski brothers, Curry family as a whole.
The Curry family.
Trevor says Cooper Manning couldn't play football due to a health condition. I believe that you're correct about that. He's the oldest. He's not. Peyton is not the oldest Manning brother.
True.
I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. I mean, the Griffeys, Papa Griffey and Ken Griffey.
Yes.
That was a big deal.
The stalls. There's like 100 stalls in the NHL.
As well too. Didn't Barry have a
apparently there's so many stalls in the NHL that there's a Stall brothers drinking game.
Makes sense.
So we could play that one day.
I don't like hockey, so no.
A couple of the brothers played with each other on the same team. So
I always find that fun. I kind of feel bad. I'm too old to ever have played any sports with my brothers.
Eric, Mark, Jordan, and Jared Stahl, all NHL players. That's insane to me.
Good for them.
All right, here's another notable family.
Hit it.
The Ryans.
Are they notable or are they just known?
Well, they're notable because of their father. And they are highly touted on the defensive side of the ball because of their father.
Right.
Not because of their statistics, because their NFL career has basically
atrocious.
Fizzed out.
Like the show equivalent of our show, basically.
Coach the defense.
It's true.
And I do still want to sit down and have a beer with these guys, though, Rex and Rob.
I bet they would be hilarious. Good stuff. Good times. Love them.
The Twins, Rex and Rob, coached against each other in opening week of 2011.
Yep.
And Bud Ryan attended the game despite battling cancer and having a surgery scheduled just days later.
Way to go, big boy.
That's sweet.
Big Bud.
Rex's New York Jets beat out Rob's Cowboys 27-24. What a boring game.
That sounds terrible.
The Jets and the Cowboys.
Who would watch that game? No, thank you.
Anywho.
A couple other things I wanted to get back to here in terms of comments. Robert asked the question. He said, "I was wondering why the World Baseball Classic wasn't televised on national networks like Fox." I don't know if did we not talk about that? I think I thought we had hit on that at some point, but maybe not. The reason for it is the fact that national networks like Fox don't want to invest the money in this yet because they want to see if it's a sustainable model for being able to put money into, basically. So that's why the MLB network had it. So once they realize that they can get the money, they will go from there.
Money.
You know all about the money?
I know all about the money.
Kurt says the Matthew brothers, Clay and Casey. Yeah, Casey pretended to have a career, but he just had the long hair, so he just rolled that one.
LeVar Ball.
Trevor says Martellus and Michael Bennett.
Yes.
Tom says the Burke brothers.
Yes.
Yeah. David says you don't like hockey. I hope Jamie throws a potato at you backs. That's slightly offensive.
Yeah.
All potatoes matter. Hashtag all potatoes matter. David says a start-sit cut. Butler's Bulldog, George's Bulldog, Rose Lavelle's Bulldog.
Do we have a start-sit cut for today?
No, it's what's for lunch.
I know. If anybody wants us to do start-sit cut, we could do that. But
no problem.
My what's for lunch isn't the greatest, but I think you'll like it.
I mean, if we want to, we'll leave the floor open here for like a minute and a half. If people want to throw any sort of a start-sit cut at us, I'm happy to jump on that board.
Okay, so while I'm telling you what's for lunch, why don't they give us some ideas for start-sit
Tanner's going to tell us what's for lunch. If you have any start-sit cuts for us, we'll talk about those right after he's telling us what's for lunch. So hit us with what's for lunch, big boy.
I reached for this.
You reached.
I did.
You reached for most things.
I still don't know what I'm going to do for one of these things, but
I'll
just going to roll with it.
I like what you're serving today, so I will help you.
Apparently Baxter's the soup guy.
Love soup.
So
Soupaholic.
I'm going to make soup today for lunch, and I'm going to make the probably the most popular, or at least the most recognized
split
soup.
pea?
No. When people think of soup, they think of chicken noodle.
I suppose. Italian wedding soup, minestrone, vegetable.
I know there are
chicken
other
corn
soups.
chowder, clam chowder.
I love clam chowder. Okay.
Boston clam chowder.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm making chicken noodle soup today.
Right.
You need to start. You need to start with the base. It's not soup without some broth.
I was about to say some broth. Yeah.
Some broth. Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, I stretched for these.
All right, I'm listening. Go ahead. Some broth.
For my broth today, I have all of Tiger Woods' mistresses. For the brothful.
Okay, I like it. I'm on board with it.
We're about 10 years removed, but
broth. It's been that long.
2007. Didn't that happen in 2007, 2008?
Gosh, now I feel old.
Tiger Woods' mistress. This is going to be a
broth
dirty soup.
Full, okay? It is.
It's my broth.
A little hairy.
For the chicken, I got LeVar Ball because I don't think he can actually stand up to Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
LeVar Ball. I used him too much, but I'm going to use him while he's
I
relevant.
mean, there's a lot of him to grab, so you might as well.
You need some carrots in there. You need some vegetables. You need some
Suppose, yeah.
carrots. You know, just
Carrots, celery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny.
I suppose so.
Only for the reason that I watched Space Jam last night.
Woo! Space Jam.
It was still great.